Hello, and thanks for watching. I'm Jimmy. I'm the host of the show. Gentlemen and gentlewomen, wherever you are, and I now yield the floor to myself. It was a day of reckoning in Washington today as the House of Representatives voted to impeach Donald Trump again. This was the scene inside the Capitol. Ahead of today's vote, members of the National Guard getting rest under the watchful eye of President Lincoln. Look at this. Donald Trump has turned this country into a Banksy painting. Unlike the first one, this was a bipartisan impeachment. Every Democrat and a handful of Republicans, 10 of them in the House, voted to throw Trump out in protest for his role organizing, mobilizing, and exciting the violent attack on them last week. These people attacked them. They tried to get the vice president. They tried to stop our election. And these jackholes today were like, this is another political attack on our president. Your president gave a little thumbs up to an army of morons marching down the street, kicking in doors, killing a police officer, and smearing their feces all over your office. And most of these Republicans are like, well, you know, the office did need some freshening up. Some color on the walls is nice. But as a result of that action, Donald Trump becomes the first U.S. president to be impeached twice. I wonder if he's tired of all the winning yet. Whatever they've said and done to support him in the past, I do want to commend those Republicans in the House who voted to hold Trump accountable. That's a real act of courage and should be treated as such. It's not just a political risk. These Trump nuts will come to their house. But the rest of them, it's always a surprise to see how crazy some of our elected officials are. And that was fully on display today as they supported their sad orange man.
This is merely the culmination of a 4-year effort to overturn the will of the people and the results for the 2016 election.
Robert De Niro said that he wanted to punch the president in the face.
He specifically told the crowd to protest peacefully and patriotically, and the vast majority of them did.
Some have cited the metaphor that the president lit the flame. Well, they lit actual flames, actual fires.
Madonna thought about blowing up the White House.
I call bullcrap.
He did say he wanted people to fight like hell or we're not going to have a country anymore, but that's obviously standard hyperbole.
Kathy Lee Griffin held up a likeness of the president's beheaded head.
President Trump has held over 600 rallies in the last 4 years. None of them included assaulting police, destroying businesses, or burning down cities.
Well, one of them did on Wednesday, and that's why we're here today. Pushing this idea that the attack on the Capitol last week bore any resemblance to the Black Lives Matters protests over the summer, it's not just dumb, it's disgusting. Stop comparing protesters marching to protect their rights with anarchists storming an election to strip us of ours. Stop it, you sound stupid. Hannibal Lecter himself weighed in today, not on Twitter because he's not allowed on Twitter anymore. He did it the old-fashioned way. While the House was debating whether or not he should finish out the week, Trump issued a carefully worded by someone else statement that said, in light of reports of more demonstrations, I urge that there must be no violence, no law-breaking, no vandalism of any kind. This is not what I stand for. It's not what America stands for. I call on all Americans to help ease tensions and calm tempers. Thank you. Wink, wink. Seems like Ivanka maybe managed to slip an Ambien into his McFlurry today because he put out another one of the stilted hostage videos they force him to make too, calling for calm in the most scripted way possible a week after he should have done it. According to CNN, one of Trump's advisors says he's clueless to what any of this means internationally or historically. But he is apparently worried about how it could affect the Trump brand. And from that standpoint, he is Air Force done. The Pizza Hut endorsement deals are gone. There will be ramifications for Donald Trump in the future, and there'll be ramifications for those who stormed the Capitol, too. There have been more than 70 arrests so far. Hundreds more are expected. And as people they're looking at the photos and the video, and they're going, hey, I went to school with that guy. And then they call the FBI to turn him in. This was one of the odder things to come out of this. There were many bizarre characters who took part in the siege with goat horns and flag jackets and whatnot. And there were even some celebrity lookalikes, too.
Chuck Norris, he is now setting the record straight. He says that he was not at the deadly Capitol riots last week. An attendee that you can see right here posted a photo on Instagram. And so some people say it looks just like Chuck Norris.
And they are right. It does look just like Chuck Norris, except for the fact that Chuck Norris is 80 years old now. The only thing Chuck Norris is storming nowadays is the bathroom at 4 o'clock in the morning. So Walker, Texas Ranger was not there, but this former Olympian was.
Also allegedly seen in the crowd inside the Capitol, 5-time Olympic medalist Clete Keller, who appeared to be wearing a Team USA jacket.
That's what happens when you swallow a gallon of chlorine a week since you were 6. This bonehead, the guy who stole Nancy Pelosi's lectern, allegedly, was released this week on $25,000 bail. And the lectern was released today, too. Cameras caught a Pelosi staffer wheeling it home. The lectern returns. Took him a couple of days to scrub all the Florida off of it, but it should be good to go. The other thing Republicans were popping off about today was the metal detector. They beefed up security at the Capitol today because of the whole angry mob thing last week. So now lawmakers have to go through a metal detector on the way into work, and some of them are mad about it. Jim Jordan was whining that it violated his constitutional rights. Hey, Jim, just do what you normally do when something's being violated. Look the other way. Molested? All I saw was an inverted leg lock. Not to mention the irony that American school kids have to do this every day because they refuse to act on gun control. But that was lost entirely on the human bedbug / congressman known as Devin Nunes.
I'm not joking. When you talk about the fall of the Soviet Union, what did they start to do? They started to crack down. They started to crack down on people. And that's what you see here. They're not allowing even Republicans to offer amendments. Now we have to go through magnetometers to get checked before we go on the House floor. That was a new thing tonight, as if we're criminals.
As if you're not. Why are you so worried about magnetometers? What are you trying to sneak in there? Are you worried we'll find out you eat pennies?
So what's happening is American people aren't getting the truth. They're not getting real news, and then they get on social media and they're not free to express their feelings. And then you have the rest of these clowns around here that are out putting this poison out to the American people when you're exactly right. Look, the president makes a lot of mistakes. All presidents make mistakes.
Honk, honk, seltzer bottle. The reason the House voted to impeach today was because the vice poodle decided not to invoke the 25th Amendment. Mike Pence is like one of those women who falls in love with their kidnapper. We did learn more about what went down last week when Pence told Trump he would not overturn the results of the election because it was illegal to do that. Trump really put the screws to Mike Pence. He delivered a threat that was so vulgar, Don Lemon of CNN could barely even say it.
I debated about saying this, but I have to. This is the news, okay? I apologize for the language here, but this is a quote. You either go down in history as a patriot or you can go down in history as a pussy.
That's what he said to Mike Pence. Pence chose the latter, maybe in hopes that the president would grab him. I would love to have seen Mike Pence react to Trump calling him a pussy. I bet he burst into tears and got sexually excited at the same time. But whatever the great negotiator said, it didn't work. You can only push Mike Pence so far until he snaps and does nothing. Even though Trump was impeached, he will serve out the rest of his term. There will be a trial in the Senate eventually. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announced today he will not bring the Senate back early to start an impeachment trial, meaning the soonest it could start will be after Trump is out of office. McConnell's reported to be happy that the impeachment is happening because he thinks it'll be a good way for Republicans to get Trump out of their hair pieces. I've seen some liberals praising Mitch McConnell for doing the right thing here, but I don't know, that's nonsense to me. Mitch McConnell has known Trump was a dangerous idiot since day one. Donald Trump sided with Vladimir Putin over our own intelligence agencies, said he was in love with Kim Jong-un. He gassed a crowd of peaceful protesters so he could take a picture with an upside-down Bible. He withheld military aid from an ally nation in exchange for imaginary dirt on Joe Biden's son. He drew on a map with Sharpie to lie about a hurricane. He claimed the pandemic, the reason we're all still in our houses after 10 months, would magically go away and be cured by drinking bleach. And during all of that and more, Mitch McConnell stood by quietly. He was fine with all of that because he meant he could get what he wanted. He squeezed Trump for every little droplet of self-tanner he could. And now once the guy's out of office, suddenly it's too much. So before we pat that little Mitch on his dorsal fin, remember this president is dangerous because he was never checked or balanced by Congress. Mitch McConnell is 100% complicit in the violence and chaos he had the temerity to denounce this week. And yes, I did say temerity, and I don't regret it. I'll probably say it again. All right, I think we need a palate cleanser. So I need a palate cleanser anyway, because it has been a difficult couple of weeks. I want to revisit something wonderful. About a year ago, we got a hold of a local news clip from Michigan of a delightful man named Freddie Miller is his name. He was in line for the grand opening of a new cannabis dispensary. Cannabis was legalized in Michigan, and Freddie was ready for it.
I want to try some edibles. Okay. I'm really interested in that because my experience I've only ever had maybe home baked, I guess. Yeah, I'm probably going to sit on the couch and smoke a bowl and I don't know, check out the new Dracula on Netflix. I've heard good things, man. I'm excited.
So naturally, I set out to find this magical creature and welcome him into my life. And everyone loved him. And it's been a year since then. So we wanted to catch up with Freddie. And with us now from his new job at Canavista Wellness in Buchanan, Michigan, is Freddie Miller. Hey, Freddie, how are you?
Hey, Jimmy, man. It's been a long time, dude.
Feels like it's been 30 years since I saw you last. Congratulations on the job. When we met you, you were in line at a dispensary, and now you're working at one. How did that happen?
I have no idea, man. You tell me. No. I went on your show, man, and just next thing I know, dude, I'm getting calls left and right from dispensaries. And, Jimmy, I was unemployed living with my mom. God bless her. But now I've been offered, some of these jobs. And I met Rick from Canavista Wellness because he invited me out to be his first recreational customer, right? And, man, I fell in love with him. He's, he owns his own pot store. He's the nicest guy in the world. Geez, man, I don't know.
How's your mom? Are you still living with your mom, or did you move out?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I moved out. Yep.
You moved out. Was she happy?
29 years old, baby. Oh, she's super happy for me, man. She's stoked. Yeah.
So, what's your job title there at the store? What do you do specifically?
Okay, so I was supposed to be a bud tender, but my boss calls me a weed ambassador, which I think is way more fitting,
Is that because he doesn't want you touching the cash register? Why are you not a bud tender?
No, I bud tend too. But it's a fancy title, yeah. Go ahead.
Do you get an employee discount at the store?
Oh, yeah, man. Dude, in Christmas time, he gave us 50% off.
Rick sounds like a real Santa Claus.
And then some time off, too.
What's the hot strain right now? What are you recommending for people right now?
Oh, man. Well, dude, weed just used to be weed, And then I got a job at a dispensary, and I've fallen in love with a couple of, I got this indica called Grim Bastard. And I like the Grim Bastard because it's a real paralyzer, man. Right? In fact, Jimmy, Rick lets me write a newsletter for, I get to do a piece for the newsletter where I get to review strains and pair them with horror movies. So fittingly, the Grim Bastard went right along with Night of the Living Dead because it also got insatiable munchies, man. So you're not going to be the only one eating, right?
Well, you got a good point there. You made the cover of a magazine. We have the cover here, I believe.
Oh, you got it. Cincy magazine, yeah.
Cincy, okay.
Yep. And I met the publisher of Cincy magazine through your little clip, man. She invited me up to a couple events up in Michigan. It's pretty awesome. Jamie Cooper's her name.
Do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or anything like that?
Girlfriend or
Freddie?
boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Dude, I've been single for 8 years, bro.
Was that because you were living with your mom and it was weird to bring people home?
That might have something to do with it, maybe. you know, my mom's really sweet. I'd bring anyone to come home to meet my mom.
I sure would wish you would be the Bachelor next time around. I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm going to speak to ABC about that. Well, I have to say, I just wanted to check in because I needed a dose of positive energy. And once again, you delivered, Freddie. So thank you very much.
Me too, man.
It's
hey,
great
can I
to
get
see
you. One
you.
Real quick? I got a joke for you.
Oh, great.
So
okay.
the insurrection, right? Cool. Yeah. So I had this brilliant idea. I was smoking the other day, and I thought, man, if I could just insurrect the insurrection and get in there and maybe, I don't know, smoke a lot of weed and talk to a lot of disgruntled people, and then you could stop the insurrection before it ever even started. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it needs a little bit of refining. I think my... Yeah, I think you need to sleep on... All right, thanks, Freddie. Hey, be safe. Don't forget to sanitize your bong, okay?
Of course, yeah, UV,
All
baby.
Right. All right, that's Freddie. Thanks, Freddie.
Jimmy Kimmel Live. This is ridiculous.